everybody, I'm JJ Conway, and I can be found on the web at jjconway.org. I love helping people dump debt, build wealth, and leave a legacy. And one great way to dump debt is to save money on the little basic things. And so today what I'm going to talk to you about is making book covers out of things that you have around the house. Now you can make a book cover out of almost any strong paper. We've done it before with U-Haul wrapping paper, which you can also get end rolls from the newspaper, those places that still publish. You can use wrapping paper, although it's designed to be ripped, so it's not necessarily the best choice. But if you're at a pinch and you just need to get through a couple days before you can go buy a book cover or make something more doable, then this will work, especially if you've got the kind that's got two different designs on the roll. Right? Another thing you can use are gift bags. I don't know about you, but I like to save gift bags for many parties, and sometimes you can find some cool ones. Now, for my son, a lot of these kinds of things, they're not going to work that well, and so one of my most favorite materials to make book covers out of is actually brown paper bags. You see, with brown paper bags, it's very sturdy material. And because I like to doodle and my son likes to doodle, it gives you lots of surface that you can doodle both on the outside and on the inside. And so I'm going to show you how to make with a brown paper bag, and you can extrapolate those instructions to be used with any bag or even a flat roll of paper that you might have. Alright, so the first thing that I want to do when I'm planning out how to use my paper bag is I want to look at where I'm going to want the book to go. Ideally, on the front of the book, I'm going to want the most clean flap surface, so that makes it easy to draw and doodle on. All right, and I'm going to want, as much as possible, that corner to be at the corner of that flap surface, okay? So when I look at this particular bag, I say, all right, I want the book corner to be here. And so I'm going to actually cut this opposite corner back here. And in the case of this book, I'm actually going to cut a little bit over this way because I want to make sure that I can wrap as much around the book as possible. You'll see what I mean. So I'm cutting up the top of the book, up to the top, and then I'm going to cut around the square part and get rid of the rectangular part for the purists there. As a scientist with a minor in math, I should probably know better, right? So I'm going to cut around the bottom part. I suppose watching somebody cut on the internet is like watching somebody boil water on a cooking show. So I'm going to cut around that, and then I'm going to kind of measure out my book. Now, a lot of times I do this by just by sight. I just kind of look at it and kind of fold however it's going to fold, right? But since I'm doing it on a video, I'm going to actually use the a pen. All right, so for this particular book, it actually takes up almost the whole length here. Personally, when I have a choice on a smaller book, I like these flaps to go as far up the book as possible. This one right here is actually pretty borderline because the shorter these flaps are going to be, the harder it is to hold. I like the books best where your flaps go all the way, like they can overlap or they go all the way around, okay? However you end up doing it. All right, so I'm looking at this one, and I actually am going to catch a little bit of that top there, that top bend, because of how I want to center this. So then I'm just kind of making some marks along here. I'm not making these marks, of course I would grab a crazy pin. I'm not making these marks to be like, can you hand me another pen? This one's not working. I'm not making these marks, and throw this away too. Wait a minute. Here. I'm making these marks just so I know where to fold it over. And I want to center the book as much as possible. I want to center the book. And then I'm just going to make some little marks to make sure that when I fold it, that I'm folding it. So you might say, oh, well, you have to flatten out the book. Well, I'm not worried about that part yet, so just stay with me. So now I'm going to fold down where my marks are. And this really is not an exact science. So if you don't get it perfect, don't worry about it. You can always adjust adjust and play around. Plus, things will get loosened up. But when I was in, I don't know when we started covering books, whether it was junior high or high school, but whenever I started covering books, this was my favorite thing to cover books with. For one, it was free. Alright, so for one, it was free, and for two, they just last a long time. And for three, I think once I got past like 10th grade, nobody else was using brown paper bags. Because when I was growing up, we were in Germany, and we lived on a military base. And so we were on the military base, and almost everybody had brown paper bag book covers back then, you know? But then in junior year, I moved to the United States, and people had really super cool, plastic covers and store-bought covers, and my homemade covers were kind of rinky-dink, but I liked them because I could draw. So what I'm doing now is I'm bending this as far in as I can, because this book should be able to be covered all the way, and I'm scooting the book around, and then I'm going to bend the other side around, and let's see. Oh, this one's almost big enough that I don't have to cut it, but I am going to have to cut it. So let me just make sure where that bend is, where I'm going to cut it. And now I'm just going to cut along that fold. Alright, now what I'm going to do, now that I have it cut, I'm going to bend around each piece and slide it into the pockets that are made there. Now again, on a smaller book, this pocket would be big enough that, that it would wrap all the way around. This particular book, not so much, because it's such a tall book. But if you had a bigger bag, or if you had access to a different size craft paper that was sturdy, you could easily do something like this. And again, they do make store-bought covers, and it's much easier to put them on. But from what I've seen, they're not the kind that you can draw on. And I just like to have fun with my stuff. I like to personalize it, and then what I like to be able to do later on, and I'm pretty sure that my son's going to be like this too, as long as the other kids don't laugh at him for having brown paper bags. Maybe, maybe he can get away with that in middle school. Maybe he'll need to do something else for high school. But, as long as he likes it, he can fill this up with doodles and anything he wants, and then he can turn around and take this off, save it, and make another one. So if we look here, he's got the front, the spine, the back, and then the whole inside covers to write whatever he wants, or to doodle whatever he wants. And this is especially important for kids like my son, because when you have ADHD, sometimes you need an activity that energizes you or calms you down when you're in class. And you need something to do that isn't taking your other friend's attention away from your teacher. So if you finish your work fast, well, now you have something you can write on right there without cluttering your notes, and you can be creative and have fun with it. All right, that's what I have to show you today. I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope that you'll join me on the web at jjconway.org, where we help you dump debt, build wealth, and leave a legacy. Y'all take care and be blessed.